Hi everyone, I am with the Secretary of Open Chicago, which is not a brown person, but a white person.
Or pink, or depending on the time of year, right?
There you go. And I'm so happy to meet you. You're such a humble sweetheart. Now, here's a question for you. What if you were the President of the United States? What would be the three things you would want to do?
Okay.
Day one.
Three things, day one. Well, first of all, because you have a platform, I think the most important thing any leader needs to be cognizant of and actively pursuing is better culture. So what I mean by that is I believe this country could use a little more goodwill towards each other in the following way. First of all, I think that we should all remember that intentions are typically good. We may disagree on the how and the policies and the politics, but if we could get back to remembering that we all have the best of intentions, that we want the right outcomes, and it's just how to get there, that maybe there's disagreements around, that would be the first thing, sort of resetting that mindset. The second is also somewhat related, and that is remembering in the power of the individual again. That having belief in the individual and recognizing that if they're given the right tools and the right encouragement, they can achieve something. We get caught up in solving problems through needing to, we think, give answers as opposed to give approaches to the answers and let the person solve themselves. Both of those, I think, are cultural. And then I think in terms of policy or some things to put in mind, I would take a top to bottom look and ask ourselves precisely, are we doing things as a government to facilitate those, and what things are we doing as a government are maybe even a hindrance, and what can we do to clear that out of the way and let people thrive and succeed? I think the country is better off because of it.
Brilliant. You have been working with the Pakistan Open, which is the organization for Pakistani entrepreneurs. It's no longer that.
Yeah.
You have probably met a lot of Pakistanis. You've met a lot of Pakistanis today.
Yeah.
If you were the Prime Minister of Pakistan, what would be the three things you would do?
Well, that's an amazing question. So the context is this. The Pakistanis that I've met are, by and large, Pakistani American. You're one of the few that I've met that are not, and I'm so glad to meet you today. So my perspective as the leader of Pakistan would be very different. To be blunt, I would be concerned about losing some brilliant people, some folks that really could be assets to our country to help us achieve better outcomes for everybody whatsoever. The number two thing, of course, if you think about the good news, and I always look at things in a half full silver lining sort of way. The good news is there are examples, right? There are other countries that have made this journey and at different times in history have taken steps to rectify. We know that there must be infrastructure. We know that there must be some foundational investments made in order to allow things like commerce to happen efficiently. That without those, it's very difficult to imagine those sprouting up spontaneously without the negative consequences of robber barons or extreme pollution or whatnot. So I think infrastructure is absolutely key. And then the third one, obviously, is security. We're very lucky in the United States in that we have our own challenges, and yet we don't face as grave and frequent a challenge, especially at our own borders, of people that mean to do us harm. Obviously, there's border questions all in the air right now. So I think the border question in Pakistan would also be one where I would want to make sure that those countries that neighbor us, we're not protected by two oceans, our understanding and our good intent, and our understanding of our willingness to do what's necessary to protect the security of our people.
You have time for one more question?
Sure. Is it an easy one?
I don't know. It depends how you look at it. If you were the president of Open Global, what would be the three things you would do?
The number one thing I would do is, if I was president of Open, would be to resign and ask the former president to take over. I think the organization is doing a fantastic job. I think the best days are just ahead. I think the 20-year mark is an interesting one because it may seem like a mature group of people or organization, and at the same time, I think we talked about today, there's so much potential. And
nothing but potential. There's nothing else to go.
There are people wiser and better connected, and the right people other than me that I would encourage, and I would do whatever I could to support them.
That's number one. Number two.
Oh, that was a long answer for number one then. So I wasn't smart in my answer.
No,
Number
you were
two,
fine.
I might think about the logo. It seems a little dated. I hate to say that, guys. Sorry about that. But I think, maybe at 20 years, it's worth taking fresh eyes and thinking, is it conveying what we want to convey? It sounds simple, but this is about PR and marketing as much as anything else. And number three, I think we're on our way, but I think we are going to continue to need to invest in ways to connect the members, especially across the different chapters. So I'm very excited by what I heard today, that is a major focus for next year.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. You're awesome.